In Greek mythology, there exists a tragedy more haunting than any war. It is the story of Cassandra, the most beautiful princess of Troy. The god Apollo, captivated by her, granted her a gift of immense power, the ability to see the future. But when she rejected his love, Apollo did not take back the gift. Instead, he spat a cruel curse upon it. You will see every disaster. You will see the fall of Troy. You will see the death of your loved ones, but no one will ever believe a word you say. Cassandra screamed in desperation as the wooden horse was dragged into the city. She saw the fire. She saw the blood. She saw the doom hiding behind the gift. But the people of Troy just laughed. They called her mad. They called her a fearmonger. They called her a killjoy. And then Troy fell, exactly as she had foreseen. That story didn't die with Troy. It is alive. It breathes and beats in the chests of a very small group of people among us today. If you are an INFJ or an INTJ, you know exactly what I am talking about. It is that gut-wrenching sensation of knowing, with absolute certainty, how something will end before it has even begun. It is the burden of seeing the Trojan horse in a flashy business startup, in a romantic relationship that everyone envies, or in a societal trend that is being celebrated. You see the collapse while the world is popping champagne. In the language of Carl Jung, this curse has a scientific name. It is called NI, Introverted Intuition. Today, we are not talking about dry MBTI letters. We are talking about the burden of being a modern-day Cassandra, and why your intuition operates on a frequency the rest of the world simply cannot hear.
To understand why NI feels so heavy and tragic, we must place it next to its loud twin brother, NE, Extroverted Intuition, the dominant function of ENFPs and ENTPs. Both NI and NE are forms of intuition. Both see the invisible. Both see patterns that the naked eye misses. But the way they operate is polar opposite. Imagine NE is like an explorer standing at a crossroads. NE looks at an event and asks, what could happen? For NE, the world is a big bang of possibilities. From point A, they see B, C, D, and E. They see 100 different scenarios. They are excited by all of them. NE is freedom. NE is expansion. NE is the optimism of anything is possible. But NI doesn't care about what could happen. NI is a sniper. It looks at that chaos of data, filters out all the noise, and asks one single question. What will happen? Not might, will. NI is convergence. It pulls the past, the present, universal laws, and human psychology into a single tunnel to reach an inevitable conclusion. It's like watching a murder mystery movie. While NE types are excitedly guessing who the killer might be, your NI already knew who did it in the first 10 minutes. You didn't guess, you knew. And this is the source of your loneliness. Society loves NE. Society loves brainstorming, loves options, loves optimism. But society fears NI. When you say, this project will definitely fail, or those two will definitely divorce, you aren't offering choices, you are pronouncing a sentence. The certainty of NI makes people uncomfortable. It looks like arrogance. It looks like prejudice. But they don't understand that to reach that conclusion, your brain processed a massive amount of data subconsciously that even you cannot explain in words.
To visualize this difference, recall the iconic moment in Infinity War. Doctor Strange viewed 14,605 possible futures. If Strange used NE, he would get lost in the maze of those 14 million possibilities. He would say, we might win if we do A, or maybe B is fun too. But Strange is a quintessential NI user, often typed as INTJ. What did he do? He discarded 14,604 failures. He didn't care about them. He looked for the one single path to the end game. And when he found it, he sacrificed everything, even the time stone, to walk that solitary road. But this isn't just comic book fiction. History gives us the ultimate real-world example, Nikola Tesla, a classic INTJ architect. While Thomas Edison, a master of trial and error, tested thousands of filaments to make a light bulb, Tesla operated differently. He used NI. He famously said he didn't need to test models. He could build a machine entirely in his mind, run it for weeks, check for wear and tear, and then build it in reality exactly as he imagined. He saw the alternating current motor running before he even sketched it. He saw a wireless world decades before the internet. Like Cassandra, he was mocked, he was called a mad scientist, he was ostracized. But in the end, he was right. The entire modern world runs on the vision he saw alone in the dark. You aren't guessing, you are playing a chess game where you already see the checkmate. Your stubbornness isn't ego, it's absolute faith in the endgame that only you can see.
So, how does this power manifest specifically? Let's start with the INTJ. In the INTJ mind, NI pairs with TE, extroverted thinking. If Cassandra were an INTJ, she wouldn't just scream. She would have drafted a structural schematic of the Trojan horse, calculated its weight distribution, analyzed the psychology of the soldiers inside, and presented a detailed defense protocol. INTJs use NI to see systems. You see the machines that run the world: economics, logistics, corporate structures, workflows. The INTJ's pain is the pain of inefficiency and systemic collapse. You look at your boss's new business plan. Everyone sees short-term profit. That is SE, or sensing. But your NI fast forwards 2 years. You see the legal loophole. You see the market shift. You see the domino effect. You speak up. If we do this, step 5 will collapse. But because NI works in the unconscious, you often lack the hard data in that moment to prove it. You only have strategic intuition. And your TE feels helpless as you watch everyone march off a cliff. Unlike NE types who might say, if this doesn't work, we'll try something else. The INTJ sees no something else. They see an inevitable end if the core is flawed. They are often labeled as negative, cynical, the wet blanket, but in reality, the INTJ cares the most about the ship's safety. You are the only one pointing at the iceberg while everyone is dancing on the Titanic's deck. And when the ship sinks, the INTJ rarely says, "I told you so." They simply board the lifeboat they quietly prepared months ago, carrying the loneliness of the unheard. If the INTJ sees the collapse of systems, the INFJ, with the combination of NI and FE, extroverted feeling, sees the collapse of people. This is a psychological burden that is perhaps even heavier. INFJ NI specializes in human patterns. You look at a new acquaintance. They're charming, they are kind, they are generous. NE would think, what a fascinating person, maybe a new friend. But the INFJ NI is different. It's a soul X-ray. It catches the micro-expression of deceit that lasted 0.1 seconds. It hears the falseness in the tone. It synthesizes all your past traumas, and it delivers the verdict: this person is dangerous. This person will betray us. The tragedy of the INFJ is grieving a relationship before it has even ended. You see your best friend being manipulated. You see the family falling apart. But because your FE craves harmony, you struggle to voice that brutal truth. Or if you do, you are called paranoid, overly sensitive. Why are you so judgmental? He's a nice guy. So, the INFJ stays silent. You step back, waiting to catch them when they fall. And when the tolerance breaks, the INFJ activates their most famous defense mechanism, the INFJ door slam. To the outside world, it looks cruel, sudden, a 180-degree turn. But they don't know that in your mind, that relationship died 6 months ago. The door slam is just the final funeral rite for a connection that your intuition saw rotting long before anyone else smelled the decay. You bear the emotional Cassandra Curse, seeing every tear before it falls, but being powerless to stop gravity.
But what is the price of this vision? Both INTJs and INFJs share a fatal weakness, SE inferior, extroverted sensing. When your mind lives 10 years in the future, you often forget to live today. You are Cassandra, seeing the fall of Troy, but you might forget your car keys, forget to eat lunch, or trip over a step right in front of you. Your body is here, but your spirit is drifting in a different timeline. So, what do we do with this curse? Remember, this is the price of being a pioneer. If you feel alone, it is because you are standing miles ahead of the crowd. Do not turn back. Wait. Time is the greatest ally of NI. The truth, sooner or later, will catch up to you. Which one are you? The strategic INTJ or the empathic INFJ? And have you ever had a prophetic feeling that seemed crazy but turned out to be 100% true? Tell your story in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. We, the deep souls, need to find each other in this noisy world. See you in the future.